Hi, Jatin, and thanks for giving your time for our Between the Lines program that we are having this Thursday. And good to see you here. So,
Thank you, Advait. Thank you for having me. Excited. You've got two dear friends of mine on your panel today.
yes, I can understand. Both of them were also excited to hear that this is your book we are doing. And I haven't actually told them that I'm doing an interview with you. So that would be a surprise for them on Thursday.
Nice.
Normal practice is that we would normally present a summary of that book. But this time, thanks to Amit, we got connected, and this is better than doing a summary. So, without wasting much time, let me start with the questions that I have in mind regarding the book. So, first and foremost, just wanted to understand what was the genesis? What made you write the book? The format is also so unique. It is not a biography. It is obviously not an autobiography. It is not memoirs, obviously. So, what went through your mind? What was the background work? How much time did you take? Because interviewing so many people. Just take us through the making of the book, as they say.
So I have been a long time admirer of coaches, of
Mhm.
teachers.
Okay.
Because I think it takes a lot of courage to teach, because you are exposing yourself to the world. You know,
Yeah.
you are trying to engage younger people into a particular field. In this case, sport and cricket.
Yeah.
So I wanted. So I've always been a long time admirer of coaches, and then I was seeing this amazing man in my house, my mother, who had contributed all his life to his trainees, his team, his players, and somewhere I thought that, hey, if we tell this story, it will inspire others to get into coaching as well,
Okay.
and it will also inform readers about what sacrifices and what lives coaches lead. It's a life of giving. Coaching is never about taking, it's only about giving.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
And I wanted all these facets to come out. And I had seen at first hand the impact my father has had on players. Sometimes the players themselves didn't know about the impact, because it was one thing was working with players on their games.
Yeah.
The
Yeah.
other thing which he did brilliantly was the strategic planning around players.
Hmm.
So if Advait is a good player, then which team should Advait play for? Which captain should he play for? Who should he be talking to? Who should be seeing Advait bat as fast as possible? That entire strategic planning happened unbeknown to the player. Uh,
Sure.
you know,
I think
and
there's also including something in terms of the building of the team profile. That was also part
absolutely,
of the strategic planning. Yeah.
absolutely. And I wanted to bring out all these facets. He was
Okay.
very embarrassed. He said, "Noko noko jatin, to me." So I said, "No, I insist. For a second, forget that I'm your son. Just think of me as a guy passionate about this game who wants to do a book." And so all the players I spoke to said, absolutely yes. But then, there's a yes, and actually getting that meeting is they are two different solar systems altogether.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Vikram
Yeah.
will know how busy these cricketers are.
Sure.
So while there was intent, uh, the actual operations took a long time. So it took about 2.5 years to get the
Oh.
book
Okay.
done,
Okay.
and to get the book done. And Penguin very graciously, over a phone call said, "Of course, Jatin, we'd love to do it."
Lovely.
So we had a good publisher, and a friend of mine, Sapna Kar, who is into art, and she knew Penguin well, and she said, "No, Vasu uncle's story has to be told." And she made that phone call in front of me, and they said, "Absolutely, let's do it." And
Fantastic.
that's how it transpired.
And how did you choose the people who would contribute? And did you interview them, or they wrote back to you, or how did that happen?
No, we interviewed them. Anand Vasu and I interviewed them,
Okay.
and I think that there wasn't much to choose from. There were I just went through through the chronology of his life,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
then picked out people from there,
Okay.
and then vetted them with my mom, because a little bit of an encyclopedia on all
Yes, I
that
can
my dad's
understand
done.
that.
So yeah, so it was a easy list. I wanted to talk about and talk to his Dada Union teammates, because there's a lot of romanticism in those club cricket days. Atatar club cricket is on its way out. Nobody
Yeah.
revives it. But those were the days of Dada Union, Shivaji Park games. Where
True.
you could see the school of hard knocks. Which Mumbai is. You could see that. You see that happening right in front of your eyes.
Yeah, yeah,
I would go
absolutely.
to games. I would go to games with my dad, and I would be the scorer for the other union.
Okay,
I
okay.
would carry a pencil and a red pen. A wicket has to be shown in red. A dot ball is in a pencil. A boundary is in blue. A
Oh,
sixer is
okay.
in black.
And you had those formats, the scoring sheet.
The
Ah, okay. It
old-fashioned
was.
scorebook. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
I would
yeah. I've
pride
seen some of
myself
that
at
myself
keeping
as
a
well. Okay,
yeah, I
lovely.
would pride myself at keeping a very neat and clean scorebook, basically.
Yeah, yeah. The neat and clean part, I'll come back to that in a bit. But since you mentioned about, that you went through the chronology and it was easy for you to whom to choose in terms of the contributors. I think one interesting part of this book is that, the contributors are through generations. I mean, people he's worked with when he was like, significantly younger to even the most youngest of them, who are the current playing 11 kind of thing. So what's
Yeah,
so unique about, his coaching and like you said, the strategic planning, you want people to take up coaching, to start loving
yeah,
coaching. In your own view, what's so unique about his coaching being, if I may use the word, Devanand style, the evergreen kind of coaching?
yeah, yeah, yeah. Uh, I think when you're genuinely passionate about something, it comes through,
Mhm.
and the stars align, and somehow the guy in front of you is convinced that you are doing it for him and not for yourself.
Yeah,
So I think he has this amazing uh, quality where immediately he puts people at ease, you know,
Mhm.
and everything then goes from there on. He wasn't a very technical coach. He knew his technique. He
Yes.
knew his technique back to front, and for younger players, technique was the focus. But for players who were coming through the ranks, it was more about connecting to them, understanding what they are about, and making them understand what they are capable of.
Yeah.
So he would always say that I think you can do more, and here's how you can do this more. And they understood that, hey, Vasu sir is telling me this for my own good.
Yeah.
I'd be a fool not to take that advice. So he has this quality of breaking down barriers very, very quickly,
Hmm.
and brilliant sense of humor. So turning stressful situations into people falling down on the floor laughing
Sure.
was another way he kind of went about his work
I think
as well.
just about everybody has mentioned that, and I'll come back to that to ask you about it. I think one interesting part, and that's the word everybody uses, that that you need to be passionate about what you're doing. But like what you've written in the book and what he says is, I think his thing goes beyond passion. He says you need to love cricket, you need to love the
Yes.
game. In your own
Yes.
view and your own experience, as a cricketer, I'm sure you've coached under him, and definitely, of
Yeah.
course, as a son to
Yeah.
him as a father. Uh, what is that difference between this passion that everybody talks about and
Yeah.
love for the game and love for cricket that made him so unique as a coach?
So I think passion for something is what gets you started.
Okay,
So when
okay,
you're passionate about something, you start.
yeah,
But then so I'll draw the cricket example, right? I started playing for Tata Sports Club or Dada
hmm,
Union or Bombay.
hmm,
Let's take the Bombay example.
yeah,
So you're passionate and you go up the ranks, and you're in the Bombay dressing room. But then that bunch of players, makes you fall in love with the game,
yeah,
because all that you want to do going to bed at night is wanting to see them again in the morning, basically, you know.
Sure,
So I think
sure.
that passion is more an individual pursuit, but love is all the experiences which the game provides you. You fall in love with those, and I think he is one guy who made people fall in love with teamwork, made people fall in love with being together as a team, made people fall in love with the history of the game, you know,
Mm.
made people aware about so many other, you know, great incidents of cricket from beyond our borders. So I think his students became more rounded, well-rounded people who knew a little bit more than just to bat, bowl, or field. And so many of his students who haven't made it say that, hey, you know, in my business or in my job as an officer in Reserve Bank of India, you know, I live by the rules with which we played at Dada Union. You
Yeah,
know, those rules dictate my life. That's how I raise my children. That's how I
sure.
lead my life. You know, so I think there's a ethos, you know, which was built around all of this essentially.
Sure, sure, sure. When I read some of, almost everybody has talked about, this, that he could tell something about your cricketing career even better than the person whom he was talking of. I mean,
Yeah,
Gary
yeah,
Sobers, or it is Don Bradman
yeah,
kind of thing. And I remembered Pula Deshpande is one of those characters where, he actually used to live saying that as if, he was with Shivaji and trying to fight
yeah,
that battle. I think Antu Barwa or
yeah,
somebody kind of thing.
yeah,
How,
yeah.
so how did that happen? I mean, is he a great storyteller, or kind of thing? I mean, of course, he's a great, obviously he has studied the game
Yeah.
very well. He knows his facts and figures very well. But how does that numbers convert into a great story for people to start loving? And like you mentioned very importantly, is love the
Yeah.
history of the game.
Yes, I think during the story, numbers add authenticity. You know,
Okay.
so it's not there's a lot of empirical kind of evidence which he would throw in,
Sure.
and that would lift the quality of the story. Absolute master storyteller.
Yeah.
You know, his teams would be in the dressing room for 2 or 3 hours after the game finished, you know, just
Mhm.
discussing cricket over a cup of tea or whatever it is,
Yeah.
you know, and stories being traded everywhere. So he used numbers because I think he's just genuinely fond of records, basically, you know, and he used this humorously. He would, you know, when I became selector, he told me ki, to make sure that you pick on potential and not only on performance.
Mhm.
You know, because if a selector just picks on performance, then Anandji Bhai Dosa should be the chairman emeritus of the BCCI selection committee. So make sure you bring a little bit of your noose into you know, picking players. So while he was fond of figures, he didn't let that impact his reading of talent at all.
Yeah, yeah. And that's where, the recognition of potential comes in play.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. One more thing that comes in mind, and almost everybody has mentioned that, they describe him, not just as a coach, but as a friend, as a philosopher, as a guide, as a family person. Some people say father figure, but essentially it is because he just didn't talk, like you mentioned. It's not just about technique, but he talked about the game, the love for the game, the history of the game, these stories, those that witty humor,
yeah.
and essentially talked of many things beyond cricket, and sort of
Yes.
made people understand their own kind of things. In management parlance, and you're running a startup now, so you would know that a coach's job is essentially to unlock the other person's potential, and perhaps
Sure.
without being so scientific about it, he actually made that happen. So,
Yeah, yeah.
can you share some of the some of the things that perhaps some of your contributors would have shared with you, not necessarily come in the book or something like that?
Sure, sure. So, my father's favorite cricketer was Frank Worrell,
Hmm.
Sir Frank Worrell, and and Frank Worrell was as much ambassador for the West Indies as he was a cricketer. You know,
Sure.
they lost against Australia in that famous tight Test series, and when that West Indian team was leaving for the airport, there were 60 or 70,000 Australians who came to see them off. And
Wow.
this was a very uh, it was a time of political turmoil in Australia. You know, the color question was very, very sensitive. But Frank Worrell turned that team into a group of ambassadors. Uh, so he was a big fan of Frank Worrell, and I think he used to speak about life to a lot of his players. There's an incident which has been recounted in the book where Sandeep Patil, before he got married to Deepa, came to Sir and said, you know her father, so can you speak on
He
my behalf?
convinced his father, yeah.
Yeah, and I remember that phone call. No, Deepa's father had come home. I remember that so clearly, and he said that if I had a son, if Sandeep was my son, I would still go ahead and do this.
Yeah.
And if I was in your shoes, I would not think twice about Sandy. He's a misunderstood guy. Trust me, she will be very happy. And Kai झालं तर मी आहे ना, and
yeah.
so,
I think that's what he's written.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So so many such incidents.
Lovely.
Yeah.
How has this part of him impacted you personally as a cricketer, as his son? Spending so much time even at a personal level. Because there's also a lot of talk about him being strict, disciplined, impeccably dressed. Always the shoes white, his floppy, the cravat kind of thing. So and there are so many people who have said that even if you are a national player, if you come late, you will be not in the playing 11. So
yeah, I remember an incident. Don Bosco was playing a Gail Shield final and against Shardashram, and I came back home after that game, and I just got out in the last over, and we still had 70 to get the next day with 4 wickets in hand, and he couldn't come to see that day. So he asked me, "Kai ka chance hai ka? Kai vattı तुला?" So I said, I don't think so. I said, "Nahi, nahi jamnar." And I remember he didn't speak to me for a week, after that. And I asked my mother that, what happened? Why isn't he talking to me? And she said, no, but how can you talk about your teammates like that?
Yeah.
So that's when he told me कि तू as a captain जर का तुला faith नाही आहे त्या टीम मध्ये मग तू का खेळतोयस?
True.
Why are you playing with that team? Play with some other team.
Sure.
So that was one. I think that stayed with me forever. I would like to think I played. I would like to think I put the team ahead of myself while playing for Bombay. But I think that was one of the big lessons.
Okay. I think a lot of people have talked about how continuously positivity was the name of the game when he was around. I mean, and your incident that
I remember one incident. I was playing very badly, batting very badly, and we were practicing at Wankhede, and आमची practice खूप tough असायची. We used to keep a green top, and we used to practice in the morning. So Diu मध्ये सलील अंकोला, अजित, पारस, Abhi Kuruvilla हे सगळे सुटायचे basically. It was not a pleasant experience most of the time. And one day I had a pretty forgetful outing in the nets, and we were playing a time shield semi-final, and I remember Salil Ankola telling me कि अरे we are playing against Salil next day, Tatas versus Grace Mafatlal, and I remember Salil telling me कि अरे उद्या काही वाटत नाहीये तुझं जास्त काय होईल, So I said, yeah, if I bat like that, there's no chance. And I came home, I was quiet at dinner, and he said कि अरे काय झालं तुला, what happened? So I said, I've been batting really badly. But he said, no, 3 weeks back I saw you. You looked okay, yaar. You look fine. And he said, net मध्ये कधी कधी होतं. Sometimes it's good that you're in ते सगळं net मध्ये out तू झालास, ते सगळे तुझे dismissals net मध्येच झालेत असं तू विचार कर.
And
go tomorrow and just bat freely.
Okay.
It'll be a good track. We were playing at Hindu Gymkhana. It'll be a good track. तू जाऊन freely खेळ रे. Don't worry about anything else. You're playing well.
Did you do good in that game?
Hey, next day, I remember we lost a wicket in the first over. Salil got Shishir Adhikari out. And the end of that day, I was batting 246.
Oh, wow.
I scored a triple hundred in that game.
Oh, wow,
You know,
wow, fantastic. Salil might not have
I,
wondered who was this man I met to spoke to yesterday in the nets.
yeah, I think tea time नंतर Salil hamstring पकडून आतमध्ये गेला होता. Basically.
There's one more thing, in the book that, perhaps he was the best captain Mumbai never had. And, there is, in the current circumstances, especially post Australia, and maybe even after today's game, there's been a discussion about, Kohli versus Rahane, their temperament. Book mentions clearly that perhaps Rohit is a better captain than Virat. I know these are controversial topics, but without getting into that part, I just wanted to understand that from your own perspective, what makes a good captain? I mean, you've been a captain, you've been a selector now. What makes a good captain? What do you look for in a captain?
He was a brilliant captain. Uh, and he always used to tell me कि a captain needs to know कि दुसऱ्या दिवशी काय होईल मॅच मध्ये. की तुझी 4 दिवसाची मॅच आहे, तिसऱ्या चौथ्या दिवशी काय होऊ शकेल या मॅच मध्ये.
Okay.
You should have one eye on that as well. Sure. And plan your move. I was talking to him last week. He's not keeping too well, unfortunately, but he was in a really good mood. And there was one game which Sandeep Patil mentions in this book where Bombay Universities versus Dada Union. आणि पुरुषोत्तम शील्ड मॅच ते पोलीस शील्ड मॅच होती. 70 ओव्हरची असते ती मॅच. आणि Dada Union lost the toss and they got put in by Sandeep Patil. Sandeep Patil was the captain आणि त्यांची खूप स्ट्रॉंग टीम होती. सुरू नायक आणि अवधूत झारापकर आणि चांगलीच टीम होती त्यांची. लालचंद राजपूत वगैरे सगळे होते. आणि they got put in आणि Dada Union declared at 100 or 97 for 7. They declared.
Yeah. 92 for, I think 92 for 5 is what the book says. Yeah. I remember that.
Yes, and they declared. And Baba was telling me last week कि Marshal V.S. Patil came and asked him कि Vasu ये थोड़ा जास्त होता है, so he told him, if we are struggling on this track, what are they going to do with you bowling, Marsh?
Yeah.
Don't worry, you just bowl your heart out.
I think even Gavaskar was in the team then.
Yeah, you leave the rest to me. You just bowl your heart out.
Yeah.
आणि त्यांनी 55 का 56 ला यांना गुंडाळून टाकलं. And Baba was telling me कि first over Marshall bowled a maiden and then Urmikant Modi bowled from the other end, and he said Jatin, Marsh took a brilliant one-handed catch in first slip, and Baba said that as soon as he took the catch, I realized that today is our day. So and I think Urmi Modi got 5 and V.S. Patil got 5, and they closed the game very, very quickly. So brilliant captain, very inspirational captain. खूप confidence द्यायचे players ना.
So now that you've started something on your own, Khelo More as a startup, you yourself are an entrepreneur. What are those leadership qualities or skills that you have imbibed from him, which obviously are coming to use in your own journey as an entrepreneur now?
I think as a captain, he always thought a lot about his team. He was very focused that his team needs to be happy. I think that's thinking about my team takes a lot of my time at Khelo More.
Okay.
I would like to believe I think about their career pathways as well, as much as the here and the now. What can I do for them? How can I do it? How can I set them up for success?
Sure.
That is a straight learning from him. Because he felt that a happy team will always be a successful team. And I'm very, very focused. My guys my people are happy. And the other piece, which unfortunately I'm not blessed with his sense of humor, because I would have involved that into the company as well. I'm nowhere near him. But the other thing is, being in the game,
Okay.
hanging
That's very
there,
important.
hanging in there. With COVID and all, we saw some really bad days at Khelo Mein.
Sure.
But we just hung in there. And one of our investors actually said that, hey, the team is really resilient, Jatin. So for me, that was something which has been a byproduct of my spending so much time with my father.
Okay.
I think
Lovely.
tenacity is something which I imbibe from him as well.
Sure, lovely. Everybody has mentioned, you also mentioned about his humor, sense of humor. And so one final thing for you is, what is your best, what they say, talking Vasu quip?
खूप आहेत actually. खूप आहेत.
Something that I will fall off my chair and
he had gone to watch a movie somewhere,
okay.
And he went into the restroom at the interval, and just so happened that a friend of his was next to him. So the guy asked him, "Are Vasu, ikade काय करतोयस?" So he said, "नाही, घरी गर्दी होती ना म्हणून इकडे आलोय."
Lovely.
There have been so many of them, actually. So many of them.
Okay, yeah. But this has been fantastic.
Yeah.
Great. Thank you so much, Jatin, for your time and taking us through this lovely journey of your book. I've read the book, and I'm sure I'm going to read it again and again because like I said, it's full of. I mean, when cricket is a passion, and you say you need to love the game and love the history of it, and it's a lovely chronicle of the great man and his great journey. Thank you so much for spending time with Between the Lines.
No, Advait, I'm just thankful that you decided to feature the book. So really, really big thank you to you for that.
Well, thank you so much, and I look forward to them chatting up with Prakash and Vikram in person now.
Sure.
Thank you so much.
Hello.
Yes, of course, Shyam. Thank you so much. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.